idea how hard it is to fall off the face of Flosstube for a few months and then try to come back and pick up where you left off. It's weird getting used to all this stuff again, but hello! Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Sarah, otherwise known as Little Snips, and like I said, I've been gone for a few months. About 3 months to be exact. I apologize for, as I also said, dropping off the face of Flosstube. That was never my intention. I really meant to come back a lot sooner than I did, but a whole lot of things conspired to keep me from doing that. But I'm back, and this is my 17th Flosstube video. If you are coming back or you're finding me again, welcome back. Thank you for coming back, and thanks for putting up with my disappearance and still being willing to come and see what I'm talking about. If you are seeing this as my first Flosstube video, welcome to my channel. I have been doing Flosstube videos since, I think, November of last year, something like that. I should really go back and check so I can actually say how long I've been doing videos without having to guess every time. But I've been doing them for a while. I was doing them pretty regularly, and then things happened, and I sort of fell off the net. Well, not off the net, but fell off of Flosstube. So, again, I apologize. Again, welcome back. I'm glad that you have come back, or that you found me. There are a few people who have done shoutouts and who have reached out to me to check and see if I'm okay, to see if I'm going to make videos again, and I really do appreciate those people. I don't get Flosstube itchy nose, my eyes itch, but anyway, Flosstube itchy eye. I really do appreciate the people who came and asked if I was okay or, checked in with me. It's a busy time for everybody. The world is a crazy place for everybody. And, you don't have to take time to check in on people that you don't know, but some of you did, and thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Couple things to say. Number one, it's September 11th today, which means, of course, it is a day of remembrance, a day of remembering those who were lost. My thoughts go out to the families of those who survived, or to those who survived themselves. And I hope that we are moving on. I hope that we're still healing. Obviously, people are going to be healing probably for the rest of their lives. But I hope that people are healing and making new lives and new memories, and that people in general are doing well. I also want to say that I hope that the people who are impacted by Hurricane Harvey in Texas and who are being impacted by Hurricane Irma in Florida and the Caribbean, I hope that you are all safe. I hope that your families are safe, that you are not being horribly impacted or having homes destroyed or damaged or pets injured or anything like that. I hope that everybody comes through these storms as safely as they possibly can. I know that not everybody can be safe, but it's my hope that the majority of people are. Yeah, so lots of thoughts and prayers going out. I know that doesn't necessarily help people, but I am thinking of them, and I hope that they're doing well. I hope that all of you are doing well, actually, whether you're in the path of a hurricane or not. I know that people go through hard things all the time, and I just want everybody to be happy. Go figure. Rambly beginning. Hi! I don't know exactly what to say. It's a little weird to be starting over again. My nerves are back. I know several of you commented when I first decided to show my face, and that I said I was nervous, that you didn't think that I looked or sounded nervous. I assure you that I do have nerves, that I do get nervous, and I do sort of struggle over what to say, or not to say, as the case may be. So my nerves are back, since it's been a while since I did a video. I was doing them every 2 weeks, which got me into a routine that made me more comfortable in front of the camera. The routine is gone, so I feel like I'm sort of starting from scratch. So bear with me if I ramble more than I have, though my videos always tend to be a little bit rambly, I think. Bear with me if I ramble more than usual. Bear with me if I stumble over things. Just, you guys are awesome. Thanks for putting up with me. Do it a little bit longer, and hopefully I'll get back into the groove. So, like I said, it's been about 3 months. It's been You know, I don't want to get deep and dark and anything like that, but we've had several people who have mentioned that they deal with depression and they deal with issues in their life. I have been dealing with depression on my own, or not on my own, but I've been dealing with depression for the past little while now, but specifically the last few months have been um, particularly hard, and that's part of the reason why I was gone, that we have been having trouble finding the motivation and finding the impetus to come and do videos, but I am doing better. I think I'm doing better. I feel like I'm doing better. Um, and I'm trying to keep going forward, one step after another, one day after another, and, you got to get through it somehow. So I'm getting through it. Um, but for those who have said that they deal with the issue of depression before, I totally know where you're coming from. I totally feel you, and you have my support and my love. And I appreciate the fact that this community is really supportive and really understanding of people who are going through rough times. So, if you yourself are going through a rough time, say something. Say something to somebody. Even if it's just on a video where you're not sure that anybody's watching or that anybody knows you or that they'll reach out or anything, say it anyway, because you're going to get support. And we do support you, and I support you, and I know that you will support me, and I appreciate that. So that's enough of the deep and dark stuff, don't you think? What I'm going to do today is, because it's been 3 months, I promise you I have a lot of stuff that, particularly haul-wise, because as a lot of people know, when you get into sort of down places, you find ways to comfort yourself. And for many of us, or for at least a few of us, the way that we comfort ourselves is by buying things to distract ourselves. Um, so I've done quite a bit of that, not stupid amounts, but I've done a lot of buying. I'm not going to show you everything that I've bought because honestly, I don't remember where I was in showing you things or showing you my haul and that kind of thing. Plus, I know that some people don't want to sit and watch just hours of people going through their haul. So I'm not going to do that. I'll show you some of it, but I'm not going to show everything. I wouldn't remember it even if I wanted. Pardon me. I wouldn't remember it even if I wanted to, probably. So what I am going to do is show you everything that I've got in progress in various stages. I think at the moment I might forget something here too. Who knows? I have so much stuff. I have said many times on these videos that I'm a magpie. I am distracted by shiny things. I get startitis. I like to start a lot of things and then I don't necessarily go back to them. I also do more than one craft. Cross stitching is not the only thing I do. I knit, I crochet, I do beadwork, I make felt toys, I make felt everything. I play with clay, I sew, I do cosplay, I do Ren fairs. Another reason why I've been away is I just recently did a play. We did Midsummer Night's Dream, and so for the month of, well, for all of August and most of July, I've been in rehearsal and performing, and so I do plays. I travel sometimes, so I do a lot of things, and I get distracted very easily by things. You can chalk that up to me being a Pisces and being a dreamer. You can chalk that up to a lot of things. I just say I'm a magpie. So I have a lot of things. I have started new things. I haven't finished anything. I haven't necessarily gotten any progress on anything. I mean, I have stitched on things, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to show you a huge amount of difference. Oh, and that's the other thing. I am not going to go back and insert where I was the last time you saw pictures of all of this stuff. Because I'm going to show you a lot of stuff, and the video's already going to be long. I mean, I'm already at almost 10 minutes of me just talking and looking at the camera and rambling at you. So I'm not going to go through and insert a bunch of pictures of things that you have already seen in various stages. If you want to know where I was before, you can go back and watch. Going forward, I may start inserting pictures again, particularly if I have a lot of progress on something. But I'm not great at edit. I'm not great at speaking today either, but I'm not great at editing videos. And so the whole process of putting pictures in and making sure that they transition smoothly is sort of frustrating, and it doesn't come out the way I want it to, so then I have to struggle with, am I actually going to upload this video? And the whole point of doing videos is so that you guys get to see what I'm working on, I get to check in with you, and I don't feel like the technical issues need to be perfect in order for people to, maybe, I hope, enjoy seeing what I'm doing. So, disclaimer aside, no inserted pictures. If I have a picture, a cover that I can show you, I will. But I'm not going to worry about, here I was last time, and this is how far I've gotten. Because like I said, in a lot of cases, I haven't gotten anywhere. Some things I haven't even worked on since the last time I saw you. But I'm going to show you anyway, so you know what I'm doing. Sort of to hold myself accountable as well. The other thing I might do is mix up some haul with some of the actual projects. There's one in particular that I know I'm going to do that with because I wanted to capitalize on the fact that I have things from the same designer, if that makes sense. Anyway, rambling, and as Terry says, you know, rabbit trails, sidetrack, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this little piece that is, as I said, some of these things I still haven't worked on. So this is no further than the last time I showed it to you. But, and this is the other thing, I'm going to have to remember where the camera is and learn where the camera is again, because I'm out of practice. So this is the, oh, my lighting is so bad in here. This is an Ink Circles freebie. This is a, not work design, obviously, as a lot of Ink Circles patterns are. This was my experiment with, or one of my experiments with the sulky blendable thread, if you remember that. This is the Primaries colorway, which is red, blue, green, and yellow. I think it's red, blue, green, and yellow. It's red, blue, and yellow for sure, but I think there's some green in there. Is there green in there? Yeah, there is. But the colorway is called Primaries. And like I said, I haven't touched it since the last time you saw it. Obviously, it's not complete. I will complete it at some point, but Ink Circles. And this is just, it's on a piece of, I believe this is 28 count even weave. I have a whole pile of stuff over here, so if you see me looking at the floor, you see me look down, I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to show you next. Let's see. I know that I showed you guys this when I bought it because the artiste kit of the Geisha Angel, because I was so excited that I had never seen a Japanese angel or a Geisha Angel before, and I thought it was pretty cool. This is the thing that I'm going to show you, this, and then a piece of haul that I got, because they're connected. But anyway, this is the picture of the Geisha Angel, and I discovered that she is actually the Japanese angel or Geisha Angel by Barbara Bates. You have seen me show you a book of fairies by Barbara Bates. There are people who have worked on those fairies and other projects by her. But I discovered, I did not know because the designer is not listed on here anywhere that I could find, that this is a Barbara Bates design. And I'll get it a little closer so you can see it. She's pretty cool. I did start her at one point because I was sitting in here in my craft room and I was bored. And Magpie, and I'm not looking at the camera, see? I was bored and Magpie, and so I stitched it and I got all of, ooh, you won't be able to even see that, can you? See that little purple streak? Blob? That's how much I got done. It's not a lot. Obviously, the fabric is not, it's not taped or serged or anything. Like I said, it was a spur of the moment whim kind of thing, and I started it, and who knows when I'll pick it up again. But the reason I wanted to show you that, aside from telling you I was going to show you everything I'm working on, is that like I said, I discovered that it's a Barbara Bates design. And I went on Amazon and looked for her other angel designs. Some of them you can find relatively easily. Some of them you are going to have to look for because they're out of print. I think, well, definitely out of print, but some of them are harder to find than others. Makes sense, right? But I found this one. She has a whole series. Actually, let me do this first. She has a whole series of angels. These are just some of them. So like this one is the Angel of Fantasy, and this one is the Angel of the Harvest. And then obviously here again is your Japanese geisha angel. Camera. Um, there's a Celtic angel. There is a, where am I going? There is a, everything's backwards. There is a Russian angel right there. There is, yeah. Anyway, there's a South American angel. It's in the center above the Russian angel. There. You having fun watching me try to figure out directions? Anyway, she has a whole series of them. There's an African angel that is really cool, I think. Very hard to find, that I really want. So I'll keep an eye out for it. But anyway, there was a Native American angel, and that's what I got. I found this one was relatively easy to find, not too expensive, and so I like, as I have said before, I like Southwestern things. I like native things. I am native. And our house has a lot of Southwestern design and colors. Also, I like angels, as I've also said before. I'm going to repeat myself a lot, so I'll just stop saying I've said it before. I've probably said it before, so now you know. But anyway, I found the Native American angel. I really like her. Who knows when I will actually get to stitching her. I am the world's slowest stitcher. But that's why I told you I was going to show you haul and works in progress at the same time, because they're connected. So, Barbara Bates. Going to be looking for more of her angels. I have no idea when I'll find them or when I'll buy them, but I'm going to look. And the rest of these things, they're just in no order. I don't have an order. I'm not going to show you like the last thing I touched versus the thing I touched yesterday or today or whatever. I'm just going to show you what I have. And I'm going to take a drink. So hang on one second. Sorry for those of you who don't like it when we drink on camera, but yeah, my throat gets dry. Hopefully that doesn't make horrible swallowing noises that will drive more people crazy. Next thing I'm going to show you, and this is one that I definitely have not touched since the last time I showed you, is my Once Upon a Time. Is it Once Upon a Time? I think it's called Once Upon a Time. I don't even remember now what it's called. It's been that long since I looked at the pattern. You know what this is. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Stitch Along for this year. That is still the Owl and the Pussycat, the first block of the Stitch Along from January. That is still not complete. So this is, like I said, exactly where I left it with the last time I showed you. It is an incomplete January box, or block. There, obviously it's September now. So I am 8 months behind. Awesome. But it's okay, because I'm not in a rush to finish anything. It's not a competition. And anybody who feels guilty about being behind on these things, just remember that. It's not a competition. Unless you have a particular deadline that you need to have something done by for a present or something like that, take your time. Enjoy the stitching. Don't feel pressure. Don't pressure yourself. I'm trying not to, so that's a lesson or a suggestion for me too. Anyway, this is, yeah, the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Happily Ever After. It's Happily Ever After. It's not Once Upon a Time. It's Happily Ever After. I remembered. But, yeah. So that's the January block. Ooh, come on, camera. I can't see through the fabric. So, anyway. And this is, again, fabric that I dyed myself. And you see the lovely dangling ends because I'm not great at serging the fabric. Fabric I dyed myself. It does have a little bit of sparkle in it. You won't see it. I've tried to show it to you before, and it still hasn't showed up, but it exists. This next piece, again, I haven't touched it since the last time you saw it. I showed it to you in triumph because I finished a dragon, and then I put it aside and haven't finished anymore. So this is the Ingleside Imaginarium Birthstone Dragon Sampler. That is the Garnet Dragon. Again, it's the January block. It's September. So again, I'm 8 months behind. Again, not gonna kick myself for being behind. I'm just gonna do this when I get to them, when I feel like I'm moved to stitch them. And that's basically what I'm doing. I know we talk a lot about rotations and we talk about how do you get through all of your works in progress, particularly people who have large numbers of projects, like the Kates, like Jessie, yeah, people who stitch a lot of things all the time and have rotations and grids and charts and very organized ways of keeping track of those things. I'm not that kind of person. If you could see the rest of my house or you could see the rest of the room, you would know that I am not that organized. And that ties into my magpie thing again. I try to be organized and then I get distracted and the organization goes out the window. So, what was I saying? What was I saying before I started? Oh, rotation. So, currently my rotation consists of me stitching on what I feel like stitching at a particular time. If I feel something tug at me and I want to go back to something that I've been working on, then I go back and I work on it for a while until I get bored, or until something else tugs at me and I switch to that project. That's my rotation. It's that simple or that clumsy, however you want to call it. That's what it is. So anyway, Birthstone Dragon Sampler with exactly one dragon done. Their border is not complete, as you can see. I mean, it's there, but it's not finished. And that's alright. I love all of the dragons that have come out. I will eventually get to stitching them. But for now, I have January. And again, this is fabric that I dyed myself. You've seen it before. It's sort of a smoky gray with some gold fleck through it. It is even weave. 28 count, I believe, and there you go. So you remember, again, this is another piece that I haven't touched since the last time you saw it. You remember that I showed this to you in Triumph as well, and there goes the itchy nose, excuse me. I'm just going to make a liar out of myself today. I said I didn't get itchy nose, and then I just itched my nose, so who knows. Anyway, I showed this to you in Triumph when I finished it as well. This is the first part of the Tea and Cake Sampler. This was a freebie on the Lakeside Needlecraft Facebook group. It is a sampler, or it's a chart released by Doreen Jones, who does a lot of work with Lakeside Needlecraft, which is awesome because I love her designs and I like Lakeside Needlecraft as a company, so it's good for me. But this is the first part of Tea and Cakes. I finished this back in May, so I'm sure I showed this to you back in May as a finished piece of the chart. And again, I didn't finish it. Now this one, of course, the border is already finished because I deliberately finished the border before I started stitching on it at all. But the whole design is very cute and I will finish it again, but when I feel like getting to it, and I don't right now. Also, this is the period of time when I was taping all of my canvas to keep it from fraying. I need to go back to doing that because I actually like the tape more than I like serging the fabric. I don't know why. It's because it's more convenient or quicker for me. I don't know. But I like doing that. And I know a lot of people, or not a lot necessarily, but some people think that taping your fabric is a bad idea, that you get goo all over the fabric and it ruins the fabric and pulls the threads out. Well, that stuff is going to be cut off before I frame anything or take it to a framer in some cases, so I'm not fussed about it. It doesn't bother me. Another drink, excuse me. Right. So here's another Doreen Jones. And this one is still in the hoop, so I apologize for folded up wrinkly fabric and it being in the hoop and all sorts of crazy, lazy things that I do. This is the Halloween stitch along that's going on right now in the Lakeside Needlecraft group. This was a purchased pattern, so this is not the freebie. Doreen Jones did design a Biscornu pattern, a Halloween Biscornu pattern that was given away for free in the group. I will eventually, gosh, my nose is just going to go crazy now. I will eventually do that as well because I really like stitching Biscornu. Haven't done it yet, haven't started it. I have, as I'm showing you, many things already started, so I figured I would hold off on that one, at least until the magpie grabs me again, but I did want to do this one. So this is the Halloween pattern. It is not, the border is not complete, that's part of it, obviously. I'm still working on it, but I really like the border. And this is done in, there's the top line. And I did that specifically to see if the fabric was big enough because I wasn't sure. But this is, the border is all done in 310 in black DMC. And this is a piece of, I believe it's either 16 or 18 count. I think it's 18 count, but I'm not sure. Maybe 16 count Ada that I dyed myself. That is just modelly purple and blues. If you buy the entire kit from Lakeside Needlecraft, the fabric is this gorgeous mottled orange. And I did think about dyeing some orange fabric to do it, but then I remembered that I had this purple fabric, and Halloween can be purple too. And I think it actually looks really nice. So again, this is the Halloween Stitch Along by Doreen Jones and Lakeside Needlecraft, and I love that border. The bats are so cute, and there are skulls, and this pattern uses light effects thread, so they're bright and shocking and yellow and green, and it's fun. It's just going to be fun. So that's my progress on that project. Another one in the hoop. And things are going to fall. Another one still in the hoop, and I apologize again for things being in the hoop, but this one is almost always in the hoop. It pretty much lives here because getting it stretched taut and getting it to work properly, like taking it out of the hoop and then putting it back in, just frustrates me. So this is Death by Cross Stitch. This is my version of Death by Cross Stitch anyway. This is 28 count even weave. Now this is the MCG Textiles even weave, which many people say is not actually even, and that was my cat in the background, so apologies if he starts meowing. I haven't really noticed a problem with this until I got down here. So you see this motif, this flower that is sort of stretched out and elongated. Part of that is because of the way that the fabric is stretched in the hoop. Part of that is because of the uneven weave of the MCG Textiles fabric. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, I can see that it is not as square as the design shows it to be, but the fact that it's a little bit stretched out doesn't really upset me, so I'm going to keep working on it. Obviously, it's been a while since I started this. I am starting stitching this 1/1 on 28 count, and I love it. I honestly love the way that it's turning out. It takes me a long time because, again, I stitch slowly, but I am enjoying it, so I don't mind the fact that it's taking a while, and I don't mind the fact that it will take a while. My main concern is that my fabric is not big enough. I think it is. I have to do 4 of this size, well, more or less this size block down, and then, so 3 more down and 3 more across. I think I have enough fabric. I'm going to be really bummed if I don't have enough fabric. So I may go and do the topmost border and the side border just to make sure. I don't know. We'll see. That kind of thing bores me, and I might not actually work on it if I try to force myself to do that. So I kind of have to weigh those things out. And my cat is sitting on my pile of some of my stuff. So yeah. You are going to hear crinkling. So along with drinking, I know some people don't like to hear crinkling, but you're going to hear it because I want to pull out pictures from plastic bags. So this is the next project, and this is the Winter Bird from the Winter Holiday collection of Mill Hill kits. I think this was 2016. Does it say? It doesn't say. But this was, I think this was 2016. Does it say on the back? Oh, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I think this was 2016. It is the Winter Bird. It was my first Mill Hill kit. Is my first Mill Hill kit. And I think I could be a Mill Hill kit addict. I really want to collect all of the Santas, the various Santas. I have not let myself order them because they will sit forever until I get to them. But one day I will have Mill Hill kit Santas. For now, I have Mill Hill kit Bird. Let me find. Maybe I'll just put the piece of paper behind it so it doesn't completely show through. These are stitched on perforated paper. At least I'm doing them on the perforated paper that it comes with. And that is as far as I have gotten with the bird. So not that far. These things are pretty quick. Like, in theory, I could just sit down and knock this out. But again, I get distracted, so I don't ever sit and just knock things out unless I'm really close to the end. And I'm not close to the end on this yet. I have, once I get the stitching done, I have to put all the beads on. And I haven't even started beading this. So, there are mistakes in this, or there is one mistake that I definitely have to go back and fix, or figure out how to fudge it, but that's where I am on the Winter Bird by Mill Hill. And I am not going to put that back in the bag because crinkle. Here's another thing that is going to crinkle, though. I apologize again. This is a... If you remember earlier this year, because I didn't finish it last year because, yeah. Earlier this year I finished my Santa and a Snow Globe. And that was a Dimensions kit on plastic canvas. This is also a Dimensions kit on plastic canvas, and the fan is going to blow this around. But obviously it's a reindeer. I bought several of these. This was not the thing that I bought with... Wow, I've been doing videos since before November because I talked about the Snow Globe kit, and I bought that to go with me to Hawaii. So, tangent. Anyway, yeah. I have several plastic canvas kits. I do also work in plastic canvas, and I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it for some things. So, I have several kits that will eventually get done. Many of them are Christmas kits, just because they make good ornaments. So this is where I am with the reindeer that I just showed you. Where's the picture? That reindeer. So that's where I am. Not that far, but some progress has been made. And again, I'm not going to put him back right now because he's going to make lots of crinkly noises, so I'll just put that over there. This is Hull, which I will save the rest of that, I think, for later. Told you this was going to be a long video. We're already at 32 minutes, so if you're still with me after all that rambling and after all of my tangential things, here we go! So this is the Hufflepuff house crest that I have been working on for quite some time. Right. Sorry about the folds. But this is a piece that I'm working on for my friend. And again, I haven't touched it since the last time I showed it to you. The last time I showed it to you, I think I was very excited by the fact that I had gotten the yellow all filled in on this big block of color. It is Hufflepuff by Stitchering on Etsy. And I just haven't felt motivated to finish it. It would be nice to have this done by Christmas for my friend. I may have it done by Christmas if I settle down and focus on it, or I may not. She may just have to wait until next year, which she's a good friend, so I always see her. There is not a possibility that I'm just gonna not see her again. So I'm not all that worried about getting it done on a particular schedule, but it'd be nice to have it to give to her for Christmas, so we'll see. If you have been following Flosstibe, well, if you're following Flosstibe, I mean, if you haven't been following Flosstibe, then why are you here? You've been following Flosstibe. You have seen the Quotes to Live By pattern by Stitcherovia from many people, and it's finished now. It has, all of the clues have come out. The entire project is finished. How far do you think I've gotten? Take a guess. 3 seconds to guess. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. You would be right. I have not finished it. You would also be right in thinking that I have not touched it again since the last time you saw it. So last time you saw it, it looked like this. Try not to make you dizzy. But I finished this particular corner of the pattern. I think that's a lot of it, is that I finished a block of things and then I set them aside because that was an accomplishment for me, and I just haven't gotten back to a lot of them. Blech. So, this is where I was last time. I am still here. This is the left? Right. The top right corner of the frame of the pattern. So I haven't even started doing Well, you can see what I haven't started doing. It looks amazing. The people who have finished it, who have put all of the clues in or all of the pieces in, it looks amazing, and I cannot wait to have it finished, but who knows when that will be. Sometime. Here we go again. Lakeside Needlecraft. I said I liked Lakeside Needlecraft, and I was not lying. I do like them. I am doing both of the currently running Stitch Along, or both of. There are more than two. I am doing the big year-long Stitch-alongs with them, though. Last year's were, the one that started last year was the Fantasy Stitch-along. And I am doing it, and guess what? Still, again, haven't touched it since the last time you saw it. So you remember that I finished the fairy, and I don't remember what month that was, I'm sorry. But I finished the fairy. Getting it closer is not really going to help you. But I finished her, and I moved on to the unicorn, which was at the top of the pattern. So but this is where I was the last time I showed it to you in May, and again, I still haven't touched it. I did not do the entire border. I did some of it, but not all of it. So I have work to do to catch up, because this pattern is finished now. I believe July was the last block of the year-long Stitch-along. So it's finished. People have finished it, and again, it looks amazing, and I can't wait to finish mine, but I'm not there. I am also doing the Stitch-along from this year, which is the Under the Sea sampler. And I did buy the fabric from Lakeside Needlecraft for this one, the gradient watery color fabric. You're not going to be surprised when I say I haven't touched it again. So I got the January block done, which was the octopus. And the next block over is the shark. So I have him started. You can sort of see, maybe a little bit, if I get it in front of the camera, you can sort of see that the shark is, there's white for the shark anyway. But I haven't finished it, obviously. It's September. It started in January. The September block is out. And the blocks are adorable. I mean, again, I am really excited to actually get there, but should I just stop saying that I'm excited to get there, but I'm not there? Because you know that. And you can see that when I show you my projects, like this one. This is the Clouds Factory Stitch-along for this year. This is the Famous Women in History Stitch-along. And didn't touch it, haven't touched it. That is, where is she? There she is. That is my Eleanor Roosevelt. Camera work. That's my Eleanor Roosevelt. She is the only woman I have done so far. Obviously, you've seen other people's projects. But I love the design. Again, I said I wasn't going to say this, but I love the design. I will finish the design. Anyway, this is my version of the Famous Women in History. Excuse me, I almost choked. On my fabric. This is my own hand-dyed fabric. This, part of the reason this one is so behind is because I had to start over. We had that conversation when I showed you the fabric in the first place. I had dyed another piece. The color did not work out. The fabric was a 32 count as opposed to a 28 count. And I discovered that I don't like working on 32 count, really. I may like working on somebody else's fabric. It was MCG fabric again, so that may be part of the reason why I didn't like it. But I didn't. And so, what can I tell you? I am so excited. Exciting this episode. I am so sorry to be showing you things that you've already seen. Like, why do I need to see this again? We already saw that. Sarah, do something different. Do something that I actually want to look at. Okay. So I have two Hades going on at the time. If you recall, or if you don't know, I had a dragon piece that I was making for my husband. He expressed his lack of interest, let's put it that way. Lack of interest in Hade designs. He really likes things that require backstitching. He thinks the backstitching makes them pop, which of course it does. That's the whole point of backstitching. But with the Hade designs, as you may know, you don't have to backstitch those pieces. Some people do in order to make details pop out even more, but you don't have to backstitch them. I'm not a fan of backstitching, so I appreciate the fact that you don't have to do it. My husband, as I said, doesn't appreciate the fact that there's no backstitching, so I decided not to put a lot of work into a pattern that he is not going to appreciate. So I have another piece that I will show you in a bit that I'm working on for him, and I went to do haids of my own, things that I like, that appeal to me. But as I said, I'm a slow stitcher, and haids are big and involved and complicated, and they take forever to do, so I don't have a lot to show you. This is my progress on Shakespeare Fantasy by James Christensen. Now, this piece, you have seen it, I have shown it to you before. This piece is very dark at the top, and then right about here, you start getting into the color. And so there are a few little pops of green in here, there will be more, and this section actually has some green in it. But this top section is a lot of black and navy blue. A lot of Haid patterns have that, and you just have to kind of get through it. It does go very quickly when I'm stitching, so it doesn't take me long to get sections like this done, and this is actually a page finish. There is a full page worth of stitching in this. But it's not all that exciting to look at because it's just a giant block of black right now. It'll get there, and you will be impressed because Haids are impressive when they're finished. So that's one, and that is on 25 count Lugana, and I really love 25 count Lugana. I wish that there was a fabric club that did 25 count Lugana, like hand-dyed 25 count Lugana. I could dye my own, obviously, but sometimes when you're a dyer, it's nice to get fabric from somebody else. I have that problem, or had that problem, with fiber and yarn, because I used to dye that on my own. I still do, but I used to professionally dye spinning fiber and yarn, and it was always nice to get somebody else's color, to look at somebody else's interpretation of where color should go, or what a color should be, or the inspiration from a picture that went onto fiber. So it's nice to get fabric from somebody else. So I really wish that there was a fabric club that did 25 count Lugana as an option. I know there's 28 count, and I know there's 32 count. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you some fabric that I've gotten that is 28 and 32 count. But 25 count, I don't know that there's a club that does it. If there is, and you know about it, let me know. I won't necessarily join it. I might not, but it'd be nice to know that it's an option. My other Haid is it's the Priestess of Quetzalcoatl, and I cannot remember who the artist is right now. I've shown it to you before, and it's not her usual style. She's one of the artists that does the fairy girls, the girls with the big eyes and like chibi proportioned fairies and women, and I can't remember her name. It's not Jessica, I don't think. I don't remember. I will try to put it in the notes at the end, or at the bottom of down there. I'll try to put it in there. I have shown you before. I've talked about it before. This is, again, not a lot of progress because I haven't touched it for a while. I think I've touched it since the last time you saw it. But because, actually I know I touched it since the last time you saw it, because I started originally here, as you can see, I was parking. So you can actually see the detail in there. You can see the stones of the background. And then I realized that parking is just not for me. I've tried it several times now, and it just confuses me. I can't remember which thread is which and which color is which, and I've tried all sorts of highlighting and marking and dotting, and it just doesn't work. My brain does not want to park. And that's something that we all have to figure out, what techniques work for us and what techniques don't. I have always been a cross-country stitcher, and so that's what's natural to me, that's what's comfortable to me. So I went back to cross-country stitching. So I am doing stitches by color now. As you can tell, this is obviously, the solid part is the parking. This stuff down here that looks like somebody sneezed on the fabric, which is what it looks like to me anyway, that like I had food in my mouth and I sneezed on it, and this is the result of what happened. Kind of gross, sorry, but that's what it looks like. This is my parking on the, or not parking, cross-country stitching on this first page. Now I've done a few colors, so as the rest of the colors come in, it will be solid like this part up here, but for now it just looks like a mess. But I love it. I actually like the fact that you can start to see shapes coming out in the colors that I'm stitching cross-country. It doesn't read on camera. So, this is another piece that I think I actually did touch after the last time you saw it. Which way is up? This way is up. Even though my needle minder says no. Yeah. Anyway, this way is up. This is the Joan Elliott sampler that she did in 2014? 2014, I think. 2015, maybe. I don't remember. But it's the sampler with the, there are faces and smaller motifs in the smaller boxes. Obviously, I haven't gotten a lot of progress done on this, but I did make some progress. I put all those little scattered petal things in there. This is on a piece of, I think it's 28 count. 28 count, yes. Doubloon, Cashel from Picture This Plus. This was a piece that I ordered way back when I first discovered Picture This Plus, way back, last year. It's, I don't know what I was going to say. It's doubloon. I love the color. I tried to make something that looked like it on my own fabric and it didn't turn out so great, but yeah. There was talk about Joan Elliott doing another sampler, another project in the Faces of Joan Elliott. It's Faces of Joan Elliott. That's what it's called. My brain does not like me today. There was talk about her doing another project. We have not seen that in that group yet. Doesn't mean it won't happen at some point, but I have added a couple of people to the group. If you send me a message and you want to be added to the group, you have to friend me on Facebook in order for me to add you. As I have warned people before, I am, at least currently and probably for the foreseeable future, I do tend to get very political on Facebook. So if you don't like that, I don't mind if you friend me and then immediately unfriend me after I get you added to the group, if that's what you want. I have no problem with that. I will not be offended by that. Everybody gets to make their own decisions about that kind of thing. So, anyway, moving on, because now we're at 47 minutes. I told you it was going to be long. So this is the project that I am working on for my husband, and I'm going to show you the book because you haven't seen a lot of this from me. I haven't been working on it for a really long time, so I haven't shown it to you over and over again. But this is the book that he ordered for me as a birthday present. I think I got this for my birthday. Because I was talking about the book and the fact that I had found a used copy of it, but that it wasn't something that I felt like I could just blithely throw money at. And he ordered it for me as a surprise, which was amazing. He's, you know, sometimes our husbands frustrate us, and other times they're just the best things, right? So, he ordered this for me, and partially because there are patterns in there that I really wanted, but partially because he really wanted a pattern out of it too. And the pattern that he wanted is the Celestial Dragon. So it's the guy on the cover. It's this guy. He, as I have said, he is the big dragon person in the house. I like dragons. I don't have a problem with dragons, but he is the one who really likes dragons. And so he has seen this pattern before, and I think I actually had this in another book, but he has seen this pattern before, and he has wanted this for a few years now. So part of the deal with him ordering the book for me was that he would get the dragon. So I have been working on it now, not as much as I should be, in order to get it done. He makes comments every once in a while like, oh, you're working on something different, but you're not working on my dragon now. He's allowed. But where is it? There you go. That is my tiny amount of work on the dragon. It's just that back ridge part and the beginnings of a wing. This is fabric that I dyed as well, the Motley Gray. This is my own hand dyed. He wanted something, I was going to do it on something lighter, and he wanted something that looked like it was like a night sky. And I think I've explained this before. But so there is sparkle in this, not that you can see it on camera. But there is sparkle, so it does have a little bit of starlight gleam to it. And yeah, that's that project. This one, I'm going to show you the picture for this as well because, yet again, it's not complete enough that you can see what it's supposed to be. So this is another Doreen Jones. I love her. I have discovered that I really like Doreen's stuff. There are a few designers that I have as favorites. I was a Teresa Wensler girl back in the day when Teresa was not churning out, I shouldn't say that, was designing a lot, releasing a lot of patterns. Now I appear to be a Doreen Jones girl. So I have bought all of her unicorns. This is the summer unicorn. But I have all 4 of them. She's got all 4 of them released now. I started the summer unicorn because it was summer. It's almost fall now. But this one I also have done some work on since the last time you saw it. I think the last time you saw it, it was basically just, like just this line and a little bit of the corner. So obviously I've gotten more of the frame done. I've started to fill in the color on the inset of the frame, but not a ton of work, but some progress, so that's something. Yeah. The next one is my January by Crosseyed Cricut. And sometimes I make goals that I should know from the very beginning that I'm not going to get done. It was my intention to have all of the, or at least enough of the Crosseyed Cricut months done so that next year I could hang them. So that I would have a few months done and that I would give myself time to work on the other months so that there would constantly be a rotation of months in cross stitch on our walls. This is January, and I don't remember when I started it. It was sometime at the beginning of the year, I think. And let me fold this so you can actually see the letters that are finished rather than part of the letters that are finished. I think it was at the beginning of the year. I might have actually started this in January. This is... again, this is 28 count opal even weave, I think. Opal Lugana, possibly. That I hand dyed so it has like snow swirls and it picks up the sparkle thing, sort of an icy blue color. Yeah, this is what I have done on January. And like I said, I think I started this in January. So I have the U and I have part of the N. The N isn't even finished. I don't think I'm going to have the months done for next year. I may have January. I might have a good start on February done. I do have the chart for it. But as far as the rest of the months, it might wait until 2019. I don't know. But it was a noble goal, and it gave me some motivation to stitch for a while. And I will get back to it, of course. I have done. That's more than you saw last time I showed it to you. So it has had progress made on it. Just not enough. This one is another pattern that you guys have seen a lot of from a lot of different people. This is the Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler. And this is how far I've gotten. Now, this one I know for a fact has had more progress made on it than the last time you saw it, because I've taken it to a couple of stitching nights, and I have not made a video since I've been to a couple of those stitching nights. So I know that there's more stitched on this. This is, again, the Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler. This is January. It's September, so again. But, and this is only the first motif, the first repeat of the motifs. There's 3 going across. You know that. Why am I explaining? You know. Anyway, that's my progress so far on the Linen and Threads sampler. You can see, obviously, that the bird is starting to come out. You can see I think I have almost all of my colors. There's one more color that I have not put on the canvas yet. And again, this is a piece that I dyed myself. This is, I think this is 18 count Ada. I'm pretty sure it's 18 count Ada. But yeah, this is the Linen and Thread sampler that I'm doing in Southwestern colors because we really like them and I thought it would look nice, despite the fact that it is not a Southwestern design by any means. It's more of a European style design. But I love it, and I think the colors are going to be great, so I'm not changing it. So there. Nah. And the last work in progress that I'm going to show you, and I know you all just heaved a collective sigh of relief. It's a lot. I didn't count them. You probably did, or maybe you did. If you did and you want to give me a count, you can. Or you can say, holy crap, what are you thinking? or you should be doing more. What, you know, say whatever you want. I love it when you guys leave me comments, even if I don't always respond to them. I do appreciate them, and I thank you for them. So, thumbs up, comments, all sorts of things, they're all good. This one is a pattern that I was enabled to look for by Glee. Hi Glee, I'm back. I made a video. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I'm back. Yay! But she found this pattern, and it is by Wee Little Stitches, and it says, God would not have made me this creative if she wanted me to cook and clean. I don't really cook. I bake, and I am terrible at cleaning. So this is perfect for me. I'm going to change the words a little bit, but this is where I am. And I think I stitched more. I think this has some progress on it too. A little bit more progress than what you saw the last time I showed it to you. This is obviously that center, whoop. It's, well, camera. It's this thing. This, I'm not even sure what this is. I know it's not a totem pole. It's the motif, the design element of it, rather than the words. And it's, by the way, this is a free pattern, so please don't be upset that I'm showing you the whole thing. You can go and find this and download it for yourself, so I'm not breaking copyright by doing that. But that's it. I am stitching this in Sulky, the Sulky Blendables again. This colorway is called Milk Chocolate? Dark Chocolate. I think this is the dark chocolate colorway. So it's variegated brown, basically. But this was, again, This was, again, a test of the Sulky thread to see how it works, because this is just one strand of Sulky. This is 18 count, I believe, Fiddler's Cloth Ada, so it has that oatmeal and the little spots of darker color in it, coloring. Didn't dye it at all. And yeah, so those are my works in progress. Ta-da! Really quickly, let me show you the little bit of haul that I was going to show you, that I pulled to show you. And it's all fabric. I was going to pull my threads. I am in the thread club from Color and, oh gosh. I really am not doing well with words. Color and Cotton. I am in the thread club, where you get 5 skeins of thread every month from her, hand-dyed floss, for a really reasonable price. So I've gotten several months of that since the last time I talked to you. I was going to bring them, but my lighting is not so great, and so the color doesn't really come across. Also, I'm not sure exactly where all of them are, to be honest with you. So I didn't pull them. So I apologize. But I am in the Floss Club. I'm also in her Fabric Club now, and I will be showing you some of her fabric. But the first fabric I'm going to show you are from Fantasy Dyed Fabrics. Joanna, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name exactly, but she dyes one-off pieces of fabric, and I think I might have showed these to you, but I'm going to show them to you again. This one I really like. Excuse me, it's been folded up, and so it's kind of wrinkly, so I apologize for that. But this one is sort of a gradient dyed fabric, and it reminds me of the sky. So it looks like the sky to me, like this up here is the sky, and then you're getting down towards the earth down here. I did buy the Gods and Goddesses pattern from Clouds Factory, and I was going to do it on this fabric. I actually started to do it on this fabric, until I discovered that the white that is called for in the pattern does not show up on this fabric. You can't see it. I could stitch it and then go and backstitch everything so it stands out, but as I said before, I don't like to backstitch things if I don't have to. So I decided not to do that. So I pulled it out, and I will figure out some other way to stitch that, some other fabric to stitch that on. I did consider briefly just going ahead and stitching it on this fabric instead. This is also Fantasy Dyed fabric. Also a pretty cool colorway with that blue up at the top. But then there's the purple on the side, and if you get down to the bottom, you see that fiery gorgeousness on the bottom. I may still do that. I may still decide to stitch the Gods and Goddesses on this instead, because I could see this working very well for it as well. The fact that I had to change the fabric sort of discouraged me, though, so I'm not working on that project at all right now. Plus, I have a project I need to start for a family member for Christmas, and I need to do that relatively soon because, yeah, it's going to take me that long to get it done. And it's a simple pattern, but I will show you when I'm working on it. So like I said, I am in Angela's Floss Club, Color and Cotton Club. And hang on, the phone is ringing, so I'm going to pause 1 minute. Right, so that was a nonsense call. If you hear something in the background, it's probably a telemarketer talking to my answering machine. Just ignore it, like I am. Right, so Color and Cotton, Angela's clubs. I am, as I said, in her thread club. I also joined her fabric club. And the way that fabric club works is you can choose your size, you can choose your count, I believe, and you can choose the colorways that you get. So I am in the larger piece of fabric. So my fabric is the 18 by 27 size, which I figured was a good size because if I need to cut it down, I can. But I have fabric to work with if I want to do a larger pattern on something. So her fabrics don't have names, at least not when she dyes them. They may after the fact, like she may go back and name them after the fact, but this is not a, you know, I know Fabrics by LJ. I know a lot of places, Picture This Plus, a lot of fabric clubs, they name their fabrics. These fabrics are not named. But this was the first one that I got, and this is what I do with the wrapper. This is 32 count Jobelin. So like I said, I had a bad experience with 32 count, but it was not Jobelin. It was not a piece that came from a professional dyer. So I'm hoping that I won't have that kind of problem with something nicer. This was the first piece, and I don't know if it's going to show up because, like I said, my lighting is never great. Let me fold it back and see if that makes a difference in what it looks like on camera. It's a gorgeous, beautiful blue. Just a mottled blue. I mean, it's not, there's no extra color in it. It's not fancy, but she specifically said that she did not dye something fancy for her first fabric piece, and this was the first offering from the club, just to get things started. So that is the first piece that I got, and then I have also gotten, so that was in July, so I know you haven't seen it because I haven't made a video. And then I got the August offering as well, and this is, what is this? This is 20, dropped it on the floor, oh well. This is 28 count Lugana. I love Lugana, as I said. I'm fond of 25 counts, but I have worked with 28 count before. This one is a neutral. So it's just it's like a grade tan neutral, grade beige, with a little bit of modeling on it. And I don't necessarily have something planned to put on this fabric, but I'm happy for having, excuse me for bending over, I'm happy for having the opportunity to work on somebody else's dyed fabric. I don't mind dyeing my own fabric. I will continue to dye my own fabric for pieces rather than buying fabric because it just doesn't make sense to me. If I can do it and I can make things that I appreciate and that I like to work on, that I should spend a lot of money on buying other people's dyed fabric. But sometimes you want, as I said, something different. I said I was going to stop doing that, and I didn't stop. That seems like it's a... Excuse me. I am going to keep hiccuping, though. It seems like that's a pattern for me, so... That's annoying. I know. I'm sorry. And then this one is also Angela's fabric. This is a 32 count Belfast. Not quite as big a piece as the Fiber Club, or Fabric Club piece, but she had this listed, or showed this as a one-off in her Facebook group, and I couldn't resist. I know some people have trouble working on dark fabrics. I have pretty good not magnification. I have pretty good lighting, so at least out where I stitch. So I don't have much of a problem working on dark fabric. Of course, I haven't worked on dark fabric for a couple of years, and my eyesight has not gotten better. So I may have to take that back and say I don't like working on dark fabric. I will find out when I actually use the fabric. But look at this. Yeah, that, despite the fact that my lighting is not great, this, and you can see through it, I know, I will fold it and show you again, but this is so, so gorgeous. I have no idea what I'm going to do on it. I feel like I should do something like the Stargazer, the Mirabilia Stargazer, or I don't know if it's big enough to do the Romeo and Juliet Nora Corbett. Because I don't have the pieces for that anyway, but I want them and I will get them eventually. But just look. Oh, it's better if it's better folded. But look at how beautiful that is. It's just so gorgeous. There's no sparkle and it doesn't need it. It's like I would that's what I want to say. This just makes me want to go, wow, what? How do I do that? How do I make fabric that beautiful? Because this is just stunning to me. So if you have not checked out Coloring Cotton, you should definitely check it out. Whether you join the clubs or not, just go and look at her fabric. Go and look at her floss. She's really talented, and I'm impressed, and I'm a fan. So there you go. And that, finally, is all that I have to tell you. We are over an hour. It is an hour and 6 minutes, and part of that is, of course, because of the phone call, but that's like a minute of... It's not because of the phone call, because I paused it, so never mind, ignore that. Most of it, no, not most of it, all of it is because I rambled, and because it's been 3 months since I talked to you, and I wanted to catch you up, and now you're caught up. Again, I didn't show you everything that I have. Like I said, I bought the Gods and Goddesses pattern from Cloud's Factory. I know I bought other patterns. I know I have other things that I didn't remember to print out or can't find. The counted thread project that I'm working on, the needlepoint project. I made progress on that, but I don't know where it is at the moment because I had to clean the house pretty suddenly for company. And I put it somewhere to keep it safe, and you know how that goes. You put something somewhere to keep it safe, and then you forget where you put it. So I have to find it again. But I know that there are things that I didn't show you, but I think an hour is probably plenty, especially when I'm not really showing you progress, but just walking you through a parade of the things that I have on the, not on the needles, well, on the needles. On the needles is a thing we say in knitting, but in progress, the things I have in progress. I want to start so many more things. I'm currently also in a crochet haze. I'm doing a lot of crochet and knitting. So I have a lot of things going on there, which is why there hasn't been a lot of cross-stitching when I do sit down to do crafting. I'm not going to show you that stuff today because, number one, this is Flosstube, not Crochet Tube. And number two, because we're over an hour. And I'd have to get up and get it. And crochet and knitting is harder to move around than cross-stitching is, at least in my opinion. Anyway, enough rambling. Too much time spent rambling. I am so glad to make another video. I'm thrilled that I can put another video out there and that you guys will watch it and hopefully enjoy it. I have not been watching Flosstube. I haven't. Just today I started watching Flosstube again, and I have to tell you, I'm sorry guys, but I was so far behind before that I had over 100 videos to watch before I went on my 3-month break. Do you have any idea how many there are now? So, I'm not going to go back and catch up on Flosstube. I'm going to try to be better going forward, but I'm not going to go back and watch hundreds of videos because I will be behind where you are, and I'm going to probably watch them backwards or out of order, and that makes me a little bit crazy, so I'm not going to do it. I apologize. If I missed something vital, if I missed something that you really think I need to see, please let me know. You can send me a message. You can link it in the notes here. Leave a comment. Find me on, I don't know. If there's something important that I needed to see that I didn't see, let me know about it. Because it's possible, it's likely that I missed it, because I missed a bunch of stuff, because I haven't been watching Flosstube. But I just can't. I don't have the time. Like, if I didn't have the time to keep track of things when I was actively doing Flosstube, I certainly don't have the time to go back 3 months and then try to keep up going forward. There are always new Flosstubers, and I think that's awesome. I think it's great that you guys are putting out so many videos, and there's so many people who are interested in joining the community, but man, oh man, is it hard to keep up sometimes. So I'm not going to go back, and again, I apologize for that. But people, I mean, Kelly and Ingeborg and Jesse and the Kates and Lindsay and Brittany and Letitia and Minnie and all of those people that I was watching before. I still want to watch your videos. I still think you're amazing. You do wonderful work and inspiring work, and I will get back to watching your videos. I will. And yeah, Gerald and Brian and Pip, I don't remember your name. Pip Stitches. Philip, I remembered. Yeah, I will get back to watching people's videos, and I will get back to commenting and liking and thumbs upping and I can't believe I forgot Glee. Glee, I love your videos. I just watched your last videos. You're amazing. And you're an enabler. Stop showing things that are out of print. It's not fair. Yeah. Anyway, I love you all. I am glad to be back. I will do my very best to get you another video in the next 2 weeks and not go 3 months between videos again, because that would be insane. Also, it would be Christmas, and who knows what'll be going on by Christmas. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to ramble about today. I'm going to stop talking, and I will see you all again in a couple of weeks. So, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not and you want to, feel free. If you want to leave a comment, I will try to answer it. I can't promise because I don't want to make promises I don't keep. But I will try to comment. And yeah, I said I was going to stop talking and I didn't. Now I am.